Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Tim Franczyk again from the Assigned Counsel program with another mini presentation on matters of law and evidence. It's a gorgeous day today, so I figured rather than stay indoors and continue to go stir crazy, I'd come out and enjoy the elements, including beautiful sunshine, even though we've got a little bit of snow. So I'm in full Fred Rogers mode here. But today, what I'd like to talk to you about is the distinction and difference between two concepts. One being present recollection revived and past recollection recorded. They sound similar, but they're actually quite different, and there are important distinctions between them that I'd like to discuss with you now. The first one, which is present recollection revived, is more commonly known as the simple act of refreshing a witness's recollection. And that typically occurs when you are on direct examination of your own witness and your witness's memory falters for one reason or another, whether it's for nerves, lack of complete preparation, whatever the case might be. The witness's memory is fuzzy on a particular point, and you want to move things along and get out that information which is important to the testimony, so you have to help that witness along. In my observation, sometimes lawyers confuse refreshing recollection with impeachment. When you are refreshing a witness's memory, you're talking about helping out your own witness who's favorable to your cause remember something that he or she has forgotten. When you're on cross-examination, I suppose you can refresh a witness's recollection when it fails, but you're there not to help an opposing witness, but rather to impeach that witness or to cast doubt in that witness's credibility in one way or another. So unless you're dealing with, say, a sympathetic witness or a young witness or an old witness who you don't want to appear to be browbeating, you're not really refreshing recollection on cross-exam. So that's important, I think, to keep in mind. So what happens, though, when your witness's memory falters? Well, and you will have prepared this with your witness beforehand. You will tell the witness during preparation, if for some reason you can't remember something, don't panic. There's a way we can help you out here. For example, we know you gave a supporting deposition, or you testified in the grand jury, you gave a statement to an investigator, or you've made handwritten notes, or whatever it might be. And so what I'll do is, if your memory fails, I'll say to you, is there anything that will refresh your recollection on this point? Or be more specific and say, if I show you your statement that you gave to the police, would that refresh your memory? And hopefully the answer will be yes. Otherwise, it's the end of the exercise. So what you will do, let's say, for example, you're dealing with a witness who was an eyewitness to a hit-and-run accident involving, say, a drunk driver who hit the victim in the crosswalk and then took off. And let's say this witness was sitting at a sidewalk cafe enjoying lunch, and her attention was drawn to the intersection by screeching tires. She saw the accident, saw the impact, and then out of the blue, the vehicle just takes off. But before it takes off, she's able to get a look at the license plate number, which she wrote down, let's say, on her napkin. She writes down BAC 1975. Let's say that is the license plate number. And a police officer comes on the scene, and she hands it over to the police officer and advises where the person drove away to. But let's say on trial, when you ask the witness, or when the witness is asked, well, what was the license plate of the car that you saw and that you conveyed to the officer? And she says, I don't remember. And if I show you the note or the napkin that you wrote it down on, assuming that she kept it, would that refresh your memory? Yes. So what you would then do is have that exhibit or that item in this case a napkin marked for identification. You approach the witness, show it to him or her, have him read it silently to him or herself, in this case herself, and then when she's done reading it, you say to her, "Now, does that refresh your memory as to the license plate number of the car that you saw leave the scene of this accident?" "Yes, it does." "And what is it?" "It's BAC 1975. So you have just refreshed that witness's recollection. You are not introducing that document into evidence. It's just kind of an assisting tool to help the witness remember. And your role as the examining attorney you're kind of like the person who holds up the cue cards off stage to help that witness along, or you're the human teleprompter to facilitate that person's memory, or to jog that person's memory. But it's not independent evidence in the case. And it's important to keep in mind that you can pretty much use anything to refresh your witness's recollection if it will help that witness remember what they have forgotten. So it could be, as I said before, prior sworn testimony, prior written statement. It could be something as mundane as a napkin upon which a note was written, or it could be something that somebody else prepared, as long as it will help jog the person's memory. For example, let's say that our witness here, after conveying the information to the police officer, threw out the napkin, and it no longer exists. But the officer took that information that was conveyed and wrote it down in a police report. And hopefully what he did was write it down accurately. You can show the witness that police report and say, "Well, that refresh your memory," and that should satisfy. Now, you might have an issue as to whether or not there was an accurate recording by the police officer, and hopefully he can testify that he fairly and accurately wrote down what was conveyed to him. But that would be really a matter of weight rather than admissibility. But really, again, you're not offering this into evidence in its own right. You're just using it as a way to help the witness remember something. So that is present recollection revived, or refreshing recollection, which is different from the concept of past recollection recorded.